You are listening to I Am Refocused Radio with your host, Shamaya Reed. This show is designed to inspire you to live your purpose and regain your focus. And now, here's your host, Shamaya Reed.
Hey, welcome to I Am Refocused Radio, man. We are here once again, and today we have another amazing show for y'all. Man, we're going to be talking about Wyblue. It is an awesome band, and we're going to learn a little bit about their history and how they got together. We're going to talk to the founder, the lead singer, Andrew himself. He's going to tell us all the scoop of everything that's been going on recently. I just want to welcome him to the show and saying how you doing today, sir.
Hey, thanks so much for having me. Thanks for having me.
So, man, let's talk about this amazing band. And I have to start with this question. What makes you blue?
Well, that's the point of our name. Really, what makes us blue is what we want to highlight. I think there's a lot that people don't necessarily want to or feel comfortable talking about, or there's situations that people aren't comfortable reconciling in themselves with, and I think that's just kind of why we want to focus on that stuff and write songs that connect with people to the things that really weigh on them or the things that they want to celebrate. I mean, recently we've come up kind of with a little phrase of like, conversations are hard and songs can help. So that's kind of the avenue that we're going with.
Yeah, I love that concept. I mean, that's something that I think most people can relate to because, I mean, who doesn't have a bad day? I have not met a person who gets cut off, driving and they're happy. Like, that's just not normal. It's normal to have a rough time. So before we go too deep into the music, man, first tell us a little bit about yourself and then kind of take us through how this was discovered with the band members and all that good stuff.
Sure. So I've been writing songs. Well, I picked up the guitar freshman year of college, like a lot of people do. And I remember writing my first song and I'm like, oh, I'm a songwriter. Ended up being like this 10-minute song I found a real small clip of it actually recently, and I was like, oh no, that's so bad. But so yeah, I picked it up then. Music has always kind of been with me, and it just kind of blossomed from there. And since then, it's been, just looking at the date here, it's been about 15 years now since then. So there's a lot of songs that have been fallen on the wayside as I've developed as an artist, and there's still some that are hanging around that I've written quite a long time ago. So yeah, this has always been kind of, for the last many years, it's been a kind of a dream of mine to work with people, collaborate with people musically, and write songs that matter. And then I've just been doing kind of the solo thing for years and years. Kind of it was like, kind of getting into doing some shows solo and kind of getting over like the first time show jitters type of thing, getting over that. And then I just so happened to come across through a mutual friend, I suppose, a violin player who also does some backup vocals for us, Rose. And she really brought a next element to the group where it just broadened the sound. It broadened the possibilities, really, because try as I might, I'm not going to be able to make a violin out of my guitar or my vocals. So it just added way more breadth and life to the songs. And then she knew a drummer who's played on our current songs that are out now. So we collaborated with him, brought him in, and we clicked pretty quickly. And then at that point we're like, dang, we need one more member just to round this out. So we brought in Will on the bass, and I've played with him in different settings, different groups before, and he's one of those types of musicians that, you know, it almost, you know, not looking at things in a musical sense is almost harder. So you just say, hey, I got this song, let's do it, let's play through it, and he's just, let's go for it. And then he's fine. He finds, okay, that's in this key. What if we drop it down, you know, a key and a half and invert that third chord, and he instantly gets it. So that's an interesting story. We kind of became a complete, you know, group right before the initial kind of COVID quarantine stuff that happened last spring 2020. And that was interesting. We had just kind of played a few times together, rehearsed a bit together, and then so much uncertainty just happened that we didn't know what was going to happen. But it was actually really good for us, because we were able to kind of hone our craft together, rip apart the songs that have already been written as a singer-songwriter, and put kind of a band spin on them.
And once again, man, we're talking to Andrew Hansen and all about the band Wyblue. And I've been hearing that a lot from music artists. You know, the pandemic kind of gave them unexpected blessing to create music and to kind of emphasize their time on the process of just developing new sounds and expanding their catalog. You, with your band, how did this times that we live in today, how has it brought y'all closer together as far as just creative, just music?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, for sure. So I think, you know, right off the bat, I think what happened really fast is we had to listen more closely. We weren't always able to be in the same room with instruments in hand, so we really had to hone in on what one of the members might be thinking, what you know, an idea for a song. What do they mean? What is their intention trying to come across? And we really had to hone in and really connect with each other really quick to really understand what the point that they were trying to get across in order to make the song what it is and what it was going to be. I think that was probably one of the bigger revelations that came out of the pandemic and quarantine and all the uncertainty, is we had to more closely listen to each other and see where each of us are coming from, and almost, I don't want to say anticipate, you know, what each person's going to want, but I guess, for lack of better words, anticipate, as we're writing songs, anticipate, you know, what each member is going to potentially think about their own instrumentation, their own process within each song. I think that was probably the biggest thing, and that just led to, you know, closer and closer friends, becoming friends and becoming, you know, bandmates who want the song to be the focus, who want the song to be the best it can be, instead of just settling for something that's fine and it's probably a good song, but trying to push it to its maximum potential.
You being the leader, being the founder of the band, was it in the beginning stages? What was that process like, trying to find y'all sound? Was that something that kind of just naturally came together, or where you had to more strategically had to put things together?
Kind of a little bit of both, I would have to say. I guess if you boil it down, I think we had to be a little more strategic to be more strategic to find exactly what our sound was. A lot of the songs I was writing as a singer-songwriter, kind of a solo artist, were very folk centric. So, you know, a lot of your just, you know, basic acoustic guitar types of songs, and to bring in, and, you know, on a whole, violin and backup vocals works pretty well with that. But to bring in percussion and bass guitar. It can work, but our goal to make the best songs possible, we had to tear apart the songs to find what's the through line, what's the thread that ties us all together between all, each of us. And I think that was probably the biggest challenge, was to find that through line for each song. And as our process was developing, I think the closest we've come so far is if you take a spectrum, and on one side of the spectrum you have artists like a Bob Dylan or someone like that, and on the other hand you have like another crazy awesome artist and group, Dave Matthews Band. If you have those extremes, we're somewhere in the middle. I think that's kind of where we decided that we end up. I mean, we don't necessarily find that our sound defines us. We're more trying to define our sound for each song. We're not just trying to decide, we're not just trying to stick in any specific box. We're going to just, whichever way the song goes, we want to follow that.
And with the band, I mean, y'all on your YouTube channel, you have videos on there, and it's pretty cool. It's like almost a setup, all y'all together. You shooting video, got the violin, got the drum,
yeah.
You on the acoustic guitar, and got the bass player. I mean, that's unique in the way you have the sound. It blends in so well. I mean, how did you guys have that process as far as being able to be in pocket, is what they say sometimes in music?
Sure. Yeah. So I think I think kind of what we end up doing is percussion world and bass world just kind of they hang out together, and if they're good, we're good. I think that's kind of the biggest thing for us is, if the beat and the low end, if they're happy, I mean, we can do a lot of different things on top of that with acoustic guitar, violin, vocals. I think that's one thing that we also discovered was, I mean, yes, it's cliche to always listen, backwards to the foundational instruments of any group, but it's cliche because it's true. It's, if you listen too forward in any kind of group, you're going to be focusing more on, following the melody, and the melody's not always, to that pocket, as it were. But if you're listening back, you're gonna find that you'll fit in a whole lot easier to the groove of a song, to the feel of a song, if you're just listening to what's going on behind you, especially from my perspective. I think that's the biggest thing for me that I've found was, the confidence just to, just do a song, maybe one that we've never done before. The biggest thing was, hey, are drums and bass, are they good? Are they cool? Okay, then we can do it. Because, if they're happy, yeah, most things are possible, at least in my experience.
Once again, man, we are talking to Wyblue and the founder, Andrew Hansen. And you go to the website, wybluemusic.com. That's wybluemusic.com. And, man, let's learn a bit about these band members. So how did you find everybody, or did they find you? What was that beginning journey like?
Yeah, so I first found Rose on violin, coworker of mine, who I would chat to every now and again about music stuff. Was like, hey, I know this other person who has been trying to find kind of a home in music, as it were, and he's like, you should connect with them and see what's there. So we met for coffee. We talked about music. We talked about what we like, what we dislike in music, what kind of songwriting really inspires us to do better. And I think it was pretty apparent that we were on the same page pretty much right away. We didn't necessarily know, how well things were going to meld right away, but we knew right away our mindsets were our mindset was in pretty much the same spot. So that was pretty exciting to know that I had someone else who was interested in making these songs the best that they could be. And they weren't just writing songs just because they loved it. I mean, that's a plus, but they also wanted to, try to connect to people and have a positive impact in the music with the music. So that was also very, very appealing to me. So Rose and I, we started performing together, writing songs together, and really trying to find, okay, what else, what's our strength in songs? Where's our weaknesses, and how we can bring as much life to the songs as much as possible. So, I mean, I've already mentioned that, right off the bat, violin added just this whole other depth to the songs, and I could not imagine it could get any better than that, because I had essentially been stuck in my bedroom with just a guitar and my voice for so long that the songs were just like, okay, that's them, that's what they are. But then immediately when we added violin and some backing vocals, it was like, oh my gosh, the world has opened up, and it's like, it can't get better. It can't get much better than this. So yeah, that was really exciting revelation, a really exciting step at that point. And at that point, we weren't Wyblue. We weren't anything yet. We didn't know. I mean, I was still performing solo just under my name, and I think probably one of our first gigs was still just me with Rose coming along for that show alone, just to see how it went. And it turned out, I mean, it worked pretty well. So we were like, okay, well, maybe we should probably make this more than just two people singing under my name. So we started this really long journey of trying to find what band name. I always thought it would be a little easier, and probably for some people, finding the right band name, finding the right how you're gonna advertise yourself to people. It was going to be a little. I'm sure people had more easier experiences, but we spent 3-4 months just coming up with lists and lists and lists of names and things that we wanted to kind of have people think about when they read our band name. And I don't know how we came across Wyblue. It just so happened that we were writing something out, and then we're like, well, what if we remove all of this? And well, then what if we remove the H? And then just Wyblue was like, well, yeah, that could work. So then it just kind of stuck with us, and lo and behold, it's still here. So kind of after that process of writing more and learning to play with more people, we were like, okay, maybe we can develop the sound a bit more. So we're like, well, bass and drums would probably be the next obvious choice. So Rose knew a friend from college, and kind of just the general music scene, as it were. And so we brought in Kenny to play some drums, and yeah, same thing with Rose. I mean, we instantly connected on a level that I didn't necessarily anticipate right away. Not because I doubted that he was a good guy or a good musician, but just that he's so open to just trying something new. Just be like, well, it may sound like crap right now, but I mean, everything has to start somewhere. So let's give it a shot. So yeah, he would just be like all in on, right away when we met, first thing that struck me was how just accepting of the songs I had already written. I mean, I know that's weird, but I guess I had a case of like, well, I'm still writing songs, but they're no good. But he just jumped on them and was like, these are pretty good. Let's work with them. Let's develop. And so he's just the number one, for at least for me, just pushing to become better musicians, just through experimentation, through, what if we did this? What if we did this? What if we didn't do this? Would it still sound all right? And just trying to really develop just kind of that, well, music's supposed to be fun, but it's also supposed to mean something. So what if we kind of just take that to the extreme and really believe in that when we're writing songs? So that's probably one of the bigger things that's going to stick with me for Wyblue and beyond in my other parts of my life, is like, you can still have fun but still do things that matter. So that's something that's always gonna be with me. So we ended up playing a show together, and we're like, that was fun. Now that we have 3 members, we're like, we know that something better can be added. Not that we sounded bad or anything, but so we added Will. I had played with him in another, just a local band for a while, and I knew he was just a virtuoso on bass. And I was like, well, let's see if he's interested. I know he's quite busy, but it doesn't hurt to ask. So I asked him, and he's like, yeah, I'll stop over and play with you guys, see how it works. And one of the first day that we played together is actually one of those YouTube videos you mentioned. It's the song Icarus that we played to put onto YouTube. And it was the first day all 4 of us had played together, and it worked pretty well. We were really pleased with just the sound, just the breadth and depth of all of us playing together. And something else that just Will brings to the group is this knowledge of not even just music knowledge of like theory, but also just music, just what other like great bass players are doing. What great bass players, how did they do what they're doing and make it look effortless? Not that he'd be the first one to be like, no, I don't think I could do that per se. I'll try. Mm-hmm. But even if I get it, they're going to be like, yeah, I'm going to be like, ooh, that takes effort. So now it was just one of those other things where theory and just music in general, just like oozes from him. And it just was another piece that was just driving us forward to make better music.
Once again, been talking to Andrew Hansen, and he's the lead singer and founder of Wyblue. You can go to the website, wybluemusic.com. Once again, that's wybluemusic.com. And man, before we let you go, everything I've been hearing, I just been like just listening, because I just hear the whole collaboration of being open-minded from each individual, and that kind of makes everything in life like better. It's hard to work with people when they don't like be open to your ideas and open to just being in their lane and contributing their gift and talent to the whole bigger picture. How important is that for just bands in general, for each member to be open-minded and contribute their talent, but also be flexible so that way everyone can contribute something that works hand in hand?
Sure. Yeah, I remember having a conversation kind of along this line kind of early in the group, being like, look, I don't, I guess I'm taking the lead on this group because I was, the founder, and I write most of the songs at this point, at least. And I don't want to just be like, oh yeah, I'll agree with you because that sounds good. I don't want that from everyone. I want, if you firmly believe in something and it's different than what I'm thinking, and you think it's going to better the songs, let's do it. Tell me I'm wrong. I mean, do it with love, but tell me I'm wrong, because I want to hear ideas. This is not just about me. I mean, we're all creating music together. So let's get those ideas, and more times than not, I mean, my idea is fine, but much less interesting. So, that collaboration and just being open to other people's ideas is one of the most important things a band can do. I think there's so many bands that form and fall apart quickly. I mean, yeah, there's a lot of reasons that happens, but I think one of the things that part of it is just the communication piece, and just the openness between members is not necessarily a priority. Someone potentially has an agenda that they're trying to get across with exactly what they want, and that can be kryptonite to band longevity. And no, I think being open, I mean, and just being willing to collaborate and work on ideas, whether or not they're good or they're bad, that doesn't matter, especially in the collaboration, the creation point, because that's where the magic happens. Something that may come out sounding really bad, initially, could be one of your biggest creations that you're the most inspired by, the most proud of, and you got to create it with people that valued your opinion, and valued each other's opinions, and valued each other's gifts and values to what they're adding to the songs. I think that's so huge.
Once again, Andrew, representing the Wyblue Band. You go to the website, wybluemusic.com. That's wybluemusic.com. Man, before we let you go, how can people book your band, and how can they support you? What's the best way someone can do that?
Sure. So, well, first off, I mean, first of all, thank you so much for having me on. This was just so much fun to talk just music and talk Wyblue and just talk about positivity and collaboration. I mean, I could talk about that all day long. But what the best way that people can support us is following and liking us on all the social medias, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. We're out on those sites at Wyblue Music as our handles, and just engaging with us. I mean, we want to hear what people are liking. That's the biggest thing that we are trying to just gauge where the things that we're creating. I mean, we also want to just make sure that, if people hear one of our songs, I mean, we want to make sure that, people like it, not like it, but, can connect to it on their own level. So I think, that's the biggest thing. Catch us on the social medias. If you're looking to get book us or something, I mean, you can connect with us through one of the social medias, or you can email us and that's on our website. We have a little EPK section, electronic press kit, which has our booking information. Generally email, which is wybluemusic@gmail.com.
Well, there you have it, man. Once again, I want to say thanks to Andrew Hansen being on the show today, lead singer of the Wyblue Band. Go to the website once again. That's wybluemusic.com. Want to say thanks for taking time out of your busy schedule, man, talking to I Am Refocus Radio.